How we doing, UMHB? Good. Oh, let's try that again. How we doing? Good. Oh, that's okay though. I'm Lamar Collins. I'm a 2000 graduate of UMHB, and I'm glad to be here. Before I go any further, I want to introduce you to the queen of my dreams, the apple of my eye, and only star in my sky. Baby, just wave your hand, let them see how fine you are. That's all. And I know that you know, but just so that everybody else will know, baby, I just want you to know that you're my everything. You're everything I've ever wanted. Because of you, I do it real big, bigger than I've ever done it. You're the best. All right. Yes, that's my name. I want to talk about a book that I've written, and the name of the book is Before You Turn 20. The book is written specifically to graduates from high schools and college, and since I'm talking to a group of college students, I thought it would be good to talk about the book. And there's 5 points that I make in the book, and I'm going to briefly hit all 5 of the points. So I'm just going to start off by telling you the 5 things that I think you ought to do before you turn 20. The first thing I think you ought to do is discover your strengths. I think you ought to discover your strengths. I think you ought to develop good friendships. Decide to maintain a positive attitude. Discern God's plan. And 5th, discipline yourself. Let's start with the first one. The first one is develop your strengths, because it is without doubt that everyone here has a unique blend of gifts, talents, and abilities. You can't do what I can do, and I can't do what you can do, and that's fine. It's fine, because everyone is different, and there's nothing wrong with being different. But here's the key. The key is to focus on the strengths, focus on the things you do well, instead of focusing on the things you don't do well. For example, when I was in high school, I had the heart of an athlete, but I didn't per se have the skill of an athlete. And I used to feel bad because of what I wasn't, instead of feeling good about what I was. I want to challenge you to feel good about the things you do well, because where the focus goes, the power flows. And if you focus on the things you don't do well, you empower that in your life. So instead of focusing on what you don't do well, I want to challenge you to focus on what you do well, so that you can empower your gifts, your talents, and abilities. Because again, every one of us has strengths, talents, and abilities, and I want you to know that the world needs what you have to offer. I want to suggest that the reason the world is in the chaos that it is in, because we have too many people who focus on the things they don't do well, so they never offer the world the gifts that they have. All of us have gifts, and the world needs the gift that you have, and that's why it's important for you to focus on those strengths, so that you may develop those strengths and empower others through the strengths that you have. The second point I want to make is develop good friendships. I'm from the East Coast. Is anybody here from the East Coast? All right, go ahead with your bad self. Anybody ever go crabbing? Now, my Texas friends like to go fishing, but where I'm from, we go crabbing. Anybody ever been crabbing? Awesome, awesome. But listen, let me tell you a story about how I used to go crabbing. When I was a kid and I went crabbing, we never put a lid on the bucket. When we caught crabs, we put it in a 5-gallon bucket, and we never put a lid on the bucket, and here's why. Because every time a crab tried to climb out of the bucket, another crab would pull it down. I tell you that story for 2 reasons. The first reason, I want to encourage you to stay away from people who are like a crab in a bucket. And the second reason is I want to discourage you from being a crab in somebody else's bucket. If you're trying to do better and somebody's trying to pull you down, you have to tell them like Beyonce said, to the left, to the left. That was a joke. Okay. But my point is, if you're trying to do good, if you have goals and you're setting goals, you're going toward reaching those goals, and there's somebody trying to pull you down, that's called dead weight. It's good to let it go. By the same token, it's important that you don't be dead weight in somebody else's life. Furthermore, let me backtrack a minute. It's important that you know who you are. It's important, and here we're talking about discovering your strengths, but let me backtrack and go back to discovering your strengths for a minute. To discover your strengths, the first thing you got to do is know who you are. So let me ask you this question this morning. Who are you? I didn't ask you what you're good at. I asked you who you were. Are you an honest person? Do you have integrity? Are you a hard worker? Are you disciplined? Who are you? And here's why it's important to know who you are, because who you are tells you your value system. It tells you the basis for your being. And when you know your value system, now you have a means of going out and finding good friends because you want to find friends that have the similar value system. Guys, it's important to pick friends not based on who's popular, but who has a similar value system. And it does not matter if they're white, black, brown, polka dot, or purple. The key is not the color. The key is this value system. Who has similar values that I have? Who has similar convictions and ethics that I have? Those are the individuals that will make a good friend. And it's important to develop, to know what your value system is, and it's important to hang around people who have a similar value system. So I have to ask you a question. Do your friends know your value system? What you say your values are, if I talk to the people that you hang around the most, would they say you have that same value system? I want to suggest it's important to have a good moral, ethical value system, and it's important to let people know it, not by what you say, but how you live, because more attention people pay to what you do than what you say. That's why it's important to be the right thing than say the right thing. Because regardless of how loud we talk, people always hear what we do. I want to encourage you to not just say that I have values, morals, and ethics, but be a person who lives out those values, morals, and ethics. And hang around people who have similar values, morals, and ethics. It's important. It's important. And here's why. Come here, you fine thing, you, my wife. Everybody see how fine you are. Let me give you an example. Let's say we're here at UMHB and we came in and, we're freshmen. And I'm looking around as a guy and I'm trying to find what my classes are, and all of a sudden, whoa. How you doing? Good. You know, my name's Lamar, and I'm not from here, and I was wondering if you could, show me around. Okay. So check this out. I'm digging her because she look good, and she digging me because I look good. Right. And we got this whole college thing going on, and you go to the mall and you take cute pictures. Y'all know how y'all do. You see go home and telling their girlfriends, oh, he's so cute. Y'all know how y'all do, right? So we're doing all this, right? So that was like senior year, and we don't know what to do, so we get married, because that's what you're supposed to do when you graduate, right? Here's the problem. I'm still playing a game, right? But she gets serious with life. And so now it's 10 years and 2 kids later, and we say we've fallen out of love. Or we say we've grown apart. See, what's important is way back here, when we meet each other, it's important for me to say, now what do you want to do with your life? Where do you see yourself? And it's important for her to ask me the same question. And if we don't know where we want to go, what we want to do, we might need to put this relationship on pause. And let me tell you why. See, let's say she wants to be a missionary. She wants to spend the next 5 to 10 years in South Africa and in India and in South America. See, I don't have a problem with that. I think we need missionaries to go there and live for 10 and 12 and 20 years, some of them. I'm just saying I'm not one of them. That's all I'm saying. I think that's a great calling. I'm simply saying it's not my calling. So if that's, hey, she's going already. But if that's her calling, but I realize it's not my calling, before we damage each other's lives, we might need to realize that, everything good don't go together. It's not that you're bad, it's not that I'm bad, we're just not compatible. Listen, I like collard greens and I like ice cream, but I don't eat them together. Because everything good is not to go together. So if you realize that God has given you a mission, and the mission that God has given you is not compatible with the mission that I believe God has given me, maybe we don't need to be together. And what we've done, we've saved ourselves the hurt when relationships break up. It's important to, again, not to develop good friendships. When that friendship escalates, you have to know what you're getting involved with, and it's important to know what you're getting involved with before you say, I do. Let me tell you another reason it's important to develop good friendships, not just when you get married. It's important to develop good friendships because who you hang around with will determine who you become. Who you hang around with determines who you become. There's a reason basketball players hang around basketball players, and football players hang around football players, and musicians hang around musicians, because they make each other better. The Bible calls it iron sharpening iron. I'm better because I'm hanging around somebody to push me to be better because they want to be better. If you want to be better at what you're doing already, hang around people who will push you and promote you in that area instead of people who will pull you down in that area. Who you hang around with certainly determines who you become. That's why it's important right now to develop good friendships. And then let me insert something real quick. If you have a habit of developing bad friendships, man, it's not too late to flip the script. It's not too late to start saying, you know what, maybe I haven't been doing good in this area. And maybe it's time for me to start thinking about the friends I'm hanging around with. Maybe it's time for me to start thinking about the activities I've allowed myself to get into. Because what I say is my moral compass, what I say is my moral base. Now that I'm away from home, I'm not living according to that moral base. I want to suggest that you are a human, which means you have the power to change. And if you found that you've strayed away from the moral base that you said that you adhere to, I want to challenge you to change. The wonderful thing about humans is this. We are not like birds that have to fly south for the winter. We're not like the salmon that always swim upstream. We have the ability to change. And if you're noticing that the actions that you find yourself doing are not in accordance with who you say you really are at your core, I want to challenge you to change. It's okay to change. It's okay to be different. It's okay to be uncommon. Tony Dungy, the former coach of the Indianapolis Colts, he wrote a book a couple of years ago, and the name of the book is Uncommon. And in the book, he challenged people to don't be like everyone else. And here's why. Success is uncommon. And since success is uncommon, it will not be enjoyed by the common person. If I'm a common person, I'm actually separating myself from success because success is uncommon. To the students of UMHB, I want to challenge you to be uncommon because you can. You see, the question is not, do you have what it takes to succeed? You have what it takes to succeed. The real question is, what are you going to do with what you have? That's the question. And I want to challenge you again to be great because you can. Be great because you're in a great university with great administrators and a great student body that can challenge you to maximize your God-given potential. And since you are in this situation, I challenge you to take advantage of this situation. The third key, decide to maintain a positive attitude. Decide to maintain